Welcome back. You're still watching SABC News Channel. A bit of sports news for you now. The viewers and listeners on the national broadcaster, of course being the SABC, are holding their collective breath as a meeting to decide whether the public broadcaster will once again broadcast football on all its platforms is currently ongoing. Ministers in communication as well as sports departments are currently meeting with football bosses and local broadcasters to come up with a hopefully lasting solution to the impasse. We now cross to our senior sports reporter at the SABC News, Craig Marais. Craig, welcome once again to SABC News Channel. The meeting began at 5 o'clock. We know the stress that our viewers and listeners have been going through since the league resumed. What should we expect? Are we expecting a result come tonight?
I think everyone's desperate that there will be a result tonight. I must just say, Tabisa, that the meeting started didn't quite start at 5. It's obviously been a very busy day here at Parliament with President Cyril Ramaphosa having to answer questions. It was wonderful to see him. There were so many people because there were a lot of people invited to Parliament. He was shaking hands and he was. You can see how much the people love him. So the meeting started a bit late, and I must say the person that I did speak to was Dr. Irvin Khoza, the chairman of the Premier Soccer League. He confirmed that the meeting's taking place and it's taking place behind us. So we're hoping that all parties will come to an agreement. There have obviously been several meetings. The first one was 2 weeks ago between the communications Minister of Communications and the Minister of Sport and the SABC, when the SABC explained that it's not commercially viable for them to pay 280 million rand, and the revenue back was estimated that they could get back was 47 million rand for the year. And then on Tuesday, the two government ministers then met with the Premier Soccer League and Multi-Choice. They seem to have a good meeting. So today we've got all the relevant parties there, and hopefully solutions will come out, Tabisa, and that there'll be a win-win situation for everyone, especially the football-loving public out there.
It comes back to another question that a lot of us have been asking, speculating on a possible compromise, as it were. We know that the SABC has come out and said it just is not commercially viable. As a news person, what would you expect a possible compromise to be? Would the SABC say, look, maybe we'll take not the 144 matches, or maybe we're just going to take radio rights? Because there has been the question, how is it that Multi-Choice were given radio rights when they don't have radio, for example? What compromise, if any, do you think or suspecting could be had?
That's a very good point you make. I mean, how can you have the radio rights when you don't even have a radio platform? So I'm sure, especially the Minister of Sport is desperate to come up with solutions. As you say, possibly not televised, have all the games, maybe half the games. I would imagine that the SABC, if they can get revenue back at about 47 million rand, that's they're not going to pay more than that, because that will not be commercially viable. And obviously the SABC is experiencing lots of financial problems at the moment, because they signed so many of these agreements in the past that wasn't commercially viable. And I think looking forward to the future as well, government will realize that maybe the mandate that the SABC has is not quite realistic with the changing of the times. Because if government gives 70 million rand to the SABC for the mandate of doing all these various important things, educational programs in 11 different languages and the sports rights, maybe government will have to look at the mandate that the SABC is supposed to give to the public, and the money that they give towards it. But whatever does come out to be, so we would hope that it'll be a win-win situation for all. And obviously there's a lot of our colleagues as well who are freelancers who normally do commentating to all these for all these various matches in different languages. It must be tough times for them at the moment, because obviously there's no work because of this impasse at the moment. So we're hoping that after this meeting, announcements will be made, and that it will be a win-win situation for all parties concerned.
Tough times indeed, Craig, because as we saw, in fact, as I look online, one of the colleagues to speak of, Reggie Ndlovu, who was arguably the #1 commentator as far as our viewers at home are concerned, he has basically said he's left the SABC for, I'm not going to say greener pastures, but he just said he's left. We're not sure where he's gone to. Overall, the impact, Craig, this has had over the past 4 weeks when the Premier League is back has been immense, isn't it?
It's been immense, and it's been so many people have suffered, but obviously the main priority is the football-loving public out there. It must also be said, to be so. If people want to also have the PSL rights, they also got to play their part. You can't just have PSL rights if you don't pay your TV license. It comes from all angles as well. The SABC, for the SABC to give these services, you can't just do it for free. It costs money, employment, commentators, all sorts of things. So, let's hope that the football loving public will get the football, but let's hope people will also try and be responsible. If they can, play your TV license, try and help the SABC, to be able to do these things. But I think the way things have gone in the past, things have to change. But those are the role players behind us, and I'm sure, the seriousness of the matter, how important. Not many people have decoders, to watch this on multi-choice. The SABC, maybe some positive will come out of this, to realize how important the SABC is to the people out there on television and all the radio platforms and on online as well. The SABC has a vital role to play.
Craig Marais, thank you very much indeed for joining us. We'll be keeping tabs with you a bit later on throughout the evening as Craig Marais, our senior reporter down in Cape Town in Parliament, giving us the latest as far as that meeting is concerned. The two ministers of communications as well as sports and recreation meeting all the stakeholders, as it were, SABC and MultiChoice. The question is, though, and a lot of you at home would want to know and see, is football back at the SABC? Hopefully we have those answers for you a bit later on tonight.